Time magazine calls Hunter S. Thompson the Unabomber of contemporary American letters. The author of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, he has been a journalist and an author and a hybrid of the two. But there has been one form of writing that has remained constant for him. It is letter writing. The Proud Highway is a collection of some of the 20,000 letters Hunter Thompson has written since 1955, with letters to people like Tom Wolfe, Norman Mailer, William Faulkner, and Lyndon Johnson. This collection chronicles up to the year 1967 and the publication of his first book, Hell's Angels. I am pleased, at long last, to have Hunter Thompson on this program. Welcome. Great to have you here.
Nice to be here.
To do this, to write these letters as well as they are, to keep them, to make carbons, says to me two things. One, you had a sense of wanting that you were going to be something and be somebody, and this was your way.
Yeah, I think I had to be. I had to have that sense. I had to have it as a writer. I'm thinking off the top of my head here, because I was not going to make it in other ways. You know, Nelson Algren once said, a question asked me, why are you a writer? And he said, because I couldn't be anything else. You know, I tried cab driving. I tried working on the railroad. You know, I couldn't even get a job most of that time. I was evicted from, fired from every job I had. Yeah. And then evicted from every place I lived. So eventually, I guess in '72, I moved to Colorado. I finally had to buy the place because I couldn't move anymore. Yeah. It was just too much. It was like a piss ad. And, you know, I began to kind of call in the letters. My mother had some. Bill Kennedy had some.
He does the foreword to this book.
Yeah, yeah. We'll talk about his wine drinking later on.
All right, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But you had the copies, and you kept them, in that trunk. Trunks, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Trunks.
Oh, boy.
Why did you keep them?
I'm trying to think. I guess because as sort of a breaking-in journalist at that time, I was taught, and I have since taught, that what you want to do is keep copies of your stories and your bylines. You know, like that's your passport for your next job. And I guess I figured that, what the hell, I'm going to keep copies of the stories, I may as well keep the letters.
We can know more about about Hunter Thompson from these letters than anything that he has written outside of letters or anything he's done in his life.
Yeah, you try having every page of your life. For every one letter in here, there are 12 or 15 cut out. But I had to listen to these things for a year with the editor, Doug Brinkley, and my son and his wife parading these things in front of me. So I'd say, well, how about this one, Hunter? Calm down. You know. And then who is this? Who is that? So I had to rake my memories. And yeah, it was like, this is your life in spades.
As you went back and reviewed them.
Had to, you know.
And the correspondence.
Yeah, these were real. I've never even looked at these things until they came out of the basement, like some kind of a genie, you know, that was down there.
Writing was the only thing that you knew you could do that satisfied you.
Well, that I could get paid for.
They didn't pay for the other
stuff. Yeah, and then when I learned about newspaper work, I learned that to work for a morning paper, you can work late at night. You know, you can go to work at 2 o'clock, and you know, get off at midnight or so. Once you learn that, I can't imagine going back. I did a afternoon paper after I got out of the Air Force. Jesus Christ, I didn't know the difference. And I suddenly had to go to work at 7 in the morning, and I didn't last long at that.
Yeah. Did you create a persona that you thought would serve you?
Serve me? That
was you.
I'm afraid if I created it and then, you know, crafted it and made it,
Yeah.
no, that's giving me too much credit. Being a hillbilly, a lazy person, basically. I had to stick with whatever it was. I just documented it. Now, why?
You just documented what you were.
Well, but by doing a logical thing, like keeping letters, yeah, I did have a sense, and it's clear in this book, that I was going to be a writer. And if the reason was, well, I can't do anything else, well, so be it. You know, you try to go out and getting a job now as a stockbroker, going through personnel agencies, you know, selling used cars. But before I did the Hells Angels book, I found myself landing up at 4:30 in the morning in San Francisco, down on Howard Street, with winos, you know, literally,
Yeah.
to be selected. I mean, I was lining up for the selection process to be picked out as those worthy to be allowed to deliver Safeway, you know, handbills all around the neighborhood, every household.
You lined up to be considered
And I was
worthy to do
rejected. I was rejected.
that. Why? You didn't measure up.
Politically, right, I didn't measure up, And I thought, what the hell? People, you know, being hauled forward, helped forward into the truck, and then luckily,
Yes.
yeah, I knew that that wasn't going to work. I couldn't get a job as a cab driver because I hadn't been there long enough as a registered voter.
Yeah.
Oh, I tried every conceivable thing. The newspapers wouldn't hire me.
What writer has taught you the most? Who have you learned the most from?
Well, taught me the most. I think maybe the most important lesson I was trying to learn early was that since I was this desperate and this kind of, you know, very limited qualifications for anything else, I was trying to set my fate and figure out if I could get away with it. And what I learned from Hemingway mainly, I think Hemingway, the best lesson from him, I had quarrels with some of his prose or writing, you know, here and there. But what he taught me was that you can want to be a writer and get away with it. You can be a writer. And that was very important at the time. It wasn't like I was I wasn't a dilettante. I wasn't playing around. I had to be a writer. And that helps. I think you know this kind of thing, yeah. There are times when you have, you know, you find that it's not really a choice. You made the commitment a long time ago. And so it was nice to find out that at least somebody had gotten away with it. And after that, I began to look at Hemingway's prose. But that was the main lesson that I learned from him.
Look at his prose for...
No, he taught me that you can be a writer and you can be a success at it.
Yeah.
You don't have to, you know, take these slings and arrows forever. I'm starting to sound like some kind of a stockbroker, a big competitive freak. But
No.
to get away with it is very important.
Getting away with it.
Yeah, to be a writer. I consider that getting away with it. Yeah.